crazy shit. why I think I'd be a perfect candidate for Star Labs.
Testing. Hey, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try monitoring myself. Maybe that'll make me sound a little bit better. Seems to be working in my favor. That way, yeah, I'm not as muffled. All right. Yeah, here we are. Loading. Loading. Oh my God, it's my face. What is this? What is this? Why do I do this to myself? Well, now I can tell all the horrible things that people hear when they listen to me. Testing, testing, testing. That sounds better. Turn the noise gate down a little bit here. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Where is that logo? There we go. Yeah, no need for that shit. I feel like I'm a little desaturated. I need more saturation in my life. It's been a while since I've been on actual camera. Alright, music. You need to just be shuffled because you're just gonna go play the same 10 songs every time I stream. That'll work. Oh boy. Let's not have Telegram show off here, huh? What song is this shit? There we go. Actually, this should be show display. There we go. And that should be the edit screen. Because generally speaking, there's usually not much interesting going on here as far as like stuff. It's just the edit clips. Eventually, I'll get the paid version of the eventually resolve. Alright, what are the plans here? Workspace, and I want to get down to no. Huh. Oh well. Not much we can do about that. Looks like it's just gonna not let me showcase video on the screen. That's fine. We got most of the recordings I gotta get done today. Starting with... let's talk about furries while we draw some. It's been a while since I even pulled out this script. It's been years. It's kind of sad to me how long it takes to get to some of this shit, but that's how life is, and that's what happens when you play video games. Apparently 2 hours a week was too much. Now I gotta figure out which script is the better one. And if I even agree with it anymore. Now this one's labeled 2, so it's probably the better one. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna have to read it out loud, and hopefully if it's something I can correct, I can do it. Let's see. Okay, so we'll minimize that. Let's get the next one opened. Christian persecution. It's gonna be here. And it's gonna be in my Google Docs. It's really ridiculous. I can hear the clicking. Click, click, click. Despite the noise gate on here. Oh, that reminds me. I need to start chat. Whee! Alright, test again. the hell? Chat. Ugh, it's doing its thing. Hey, Dalen. Long time no see. How has the last several months been? Started or some shit. Yeah, since got a commission done, well, I got the next art piece done. Now it's on to the next commission and just line up for a bunch of videos. Google Docs. Google Docs. Google Docs. Where are you, Google Docs? Okay, so we got that one. So for Christians being persecuted. YouTube journey. This one's gonna be fun. I think I already had this one saved, but let's see. Nope. YouTube career. Let's see. I could have sworn I wrote a message for iPatch Wolf here. In order to join the army, you have to do BCT and AIT. And I asked if I could drop out of AIT. They said if I do, that I'll have to leave the army, so I said yes. And they gave me an honorable discharge. Worked the jails in my grandpa's sheriff's office, and it's 3 years in the jails, and I go to police academy at 21. Well, at least he got discharged from the army early. He didn't have to face any major combat or be overseas for years or whatever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this one. Alright, what's the next one we gotta do today? Vox Machina, I think I got those. Fuck, where are you? There it is. Yeah, I did kind of just record it all, didn't I? Alright, fine. Let's see, what else do I have lined up here? Talk about furries, Christian persecution, YouTube career, Vox Machina reviews, and Boys Season 3 reviews. Haven't really done... Oh wait, I do have a whole lineup of that. Let me get my folder here and get all those videos, those images together. Let's call it, Stupid. Wow, that came out wrong. Stupid, the Boys Season 3 reviews. Or, no, wait. Idiots. Oh, wait, Idiots doesn't talk well with YouTube. Mentally challenged reviews of The Boys Season 3. There we go. I'm sure that'll go over well. So many good ones I picked up when I was at Cedar Point a couple weeks ago. I gotta get these images like sent out to myself now. Images. Screenshot. Screenshot. Where the hell are my screenshots? Screenshot. 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 Here we go. Here we go. Let's see here. Share email. There we go. We'll send those all out and we download it as a zip file. Blazey's been here a few times. I haven't seen her in the last week or so. She kind of chimed in once in a while and kind of counted down the months that you were gone, from what I remember. Oh yeah, there they all are. I think that's all of them. Make sure I'm not missing any. Yep, we're good. Cool. So we did Vox Machina already. Alright, let's go down the line. Let's talk about the video I wanted to talk about forever. Hopefully the script still holds up and I'm not just like stopping halfway. I'm like, well, looks like I have to rewrite all this. Alrighty. Oof, man, this is some dated shit. I'm already seeing it. I'm just gonna come up with something else. Alright. And all the spelling areas I haven't corrected yet. Oh well. That's how it goes. Alright. Really like the sheriff's office and the army, everyone was pissed off all the time. Everyone here is friendly. Yeah, that does sound about right. Comparison, yeah. Alright, let's get started here. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Get nice and comfy to my mic. Alright, 10 seconds of silence. So, since I got a couple of paid commissions here... Oh, see, I already started fucked up. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and this is... Hello, I'm Craft... This is how you warm up. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and this is Crafty Arts, where we art. So, since I got a couple of paid commissions of some So since I got a couple of paid commissions of some furry characters, we have Snow the Dutch Dragon, Stardew the bird creature thing, and Cerberus the lightning pattern doggo. I wanted to talk about... Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to think of a better way to reward this. Today I got over 3 furry commissions to go over, and since I am painting up some furries, I wanted to talk about furries and my involvement with them. We have Snow the Dutch Dragon, Stardew the bird creature thing, and Cerberus the lightning pattern doggo. Now I consider myself a furry fan as in the aesthetic and concepts. I know it's ironic considering I have a sizable collection of pornography. Go to parties, conventions, and have little personal get-togethers. You'd think I just say it, but no. I don't like being tied down to groups or communities fully. I like to keep a sense of individuality. In the end, when you strip it down, furry is an aesthetic. That is it. Like a funny hat, a style of animation, or the characters in a story. Mouse Guard is a furry story just like Lindsay Lohan's failed NFTs are a furry character. Saying otherwise is like calling the sky green. Whatever it is beyond the aesthetic to a person, that's up to them. It's not a membership group, it doesn't have a philosophy to follow, or a deity to sacrifice babies to. We just feed them to Raptor Jesus for fun. I'm not responsible for anyone else's behavior, or goddamn the Lindsay Lohan NFT thing bothers me. Seriously, what unpaid intern drew up this thing, let alone every NFT that has ever existed, and thank God they are all dead. But and I know this has been beaten to death as a horse could be possibly beaten, but let's just take a moment to compare some of this artwork to people like Milofox, Celeste, and Spectrum Shift. The time I got my understanding... Alright. None of these people, corporations, or whatever, grifter, scam artists you can come up with, have no business being what... Lindsay Lohan pick has no business being what it is, being sold for major money. Eh. One can only wonder what kind of disgusting, twisted trend will come up next. Maybe mass-produced streamers and... Oh, what else? How do I describe it? Maybe mass-produced streamers. Or maybe streamers will be produced like they are on a production line with fake sets and microphones and a producer directing every single action that they take. And then insert clip from China's live streamers. But I digress. Let's talk about furries. The time I got my understanding of their existence was in high school. It was a dirty little secret of mine, amplified by religious guilt. You see, when the church and community tells you something is a sin, like being gay or imagining fun time with Renamon and Guilmon, preferably at the same time, whether it's told directly or indirectly, it creates a thinking doom loop. You are told thinking of X is a sin, so it makes you think about it more. If it's a sexual thing, it especially makes you think about it more, making more of a furry than any furry could ever hope to make me in the end. But I would keep it a secret to everyone, including the internet. I didn't talk to anyone online outside of commenting on art pictures, not even furries. A lot of the things I'm going over are their own stories, so to keep it short and sweet and straight to the climax, I came to terms with myself in my early 20s. I got over wasting time feeling guilty about what I was, understanding that it doesn't determine what kind of person I am. I started to get more curious about the inner workings of the public furry scene and looking up convention videos on YouTube in my college years. Because of the stories floating around online, there is a fear if friends, family, and jobs found out I would lose everything. That was until I came across Furry Connection North, now known as Motor City FurCon. Tracy Butler was the guest of honor back in 2009, and it put to question all of my fears right there. Tracy Butler is the creator of a series called Lackadaisy, a story focused around various characters hustling out a living during the Prohibition era. And the characters are all cats. Here is a person that is a professionally published creator who is getting the animated treatment of her work currently. Here is a person that is a professionally published creator who is getting the animation treatment of her work currently. She's not losing her life over being a part of this. Maybe there was more to this than seedy sex parties and shameful Maybe there was more to this than seedy sex parties and shameful Maybe there was more to this than seedy sex parties and shameful fantasies. It was around this time, then, that a lot of dire circumstances that I'll save for another story on the Weird Zors channel. Like and subscribe. Led me to tell one of my best friends of 5 years that I was into all this time. Led me to tell one of my best friends of 5 years what I was into all this time. He was a normie, but would become the push I needed in order to go out to this event. It sounded like I combined go and get. He was a normie, but would become the push I needed in order to go to this event. I'll never forget what my coworker said when I told her where we were going. Hey, guess where I'm going? A furry convention. Raising eyebrows repeatedly. Aren't those the people that dressed up as animals and... Wait, aren't those people that dress up in animals and dry hump each other? Yep. Oh, hell no, Andy. No, Andy, no. There were all kinds of... And there I am in all my social awkwardness. Well, I guess I shouldn't include him. He's still part of my life. There we were in all our social awkwardness. I went there under the guise of making a video for the internet. So I would have some cover in case someone knew me, tried to call me out. That was going to be my cover. Just making a weird video for the internet, sir! After the interaction with the chairman at the registration window, people thought we were undercover radio jockeys trying to infiltrate the convention to capture some cringe. As if you have to be that to capture cringe. Luckily, it didn't cause us any problems when it came to getting interviews with various people there. I plan on getting in more detail on my other channel, Weirdzorus, like and subscribe. Right now, there are a bunch of clips from that year. Right now, there are a bunch of clips from that year you can find. Right now, there are a bunch of clips there from that year you can find on that channel. It was after the experience of those 3 nights that I decided to try and find others within my local area. After the first night, I was hooked. So I would go home, sleep for about 4 to 5 hours, get up, drive an hour to get to the hotel again, hang out, go back, do it again the next day. And it was after that experience of those 3 nights that I decided to try and find others within my local area. After a few meetups at Comic-Con and sleepover movie nights, I finally found a group of people I didn't feel insecure around and threatened by. To sum up the most eventful 2 years of my life and the following 12, I made some long-lasting true friends, came to terms with my own sexuality, got to actually relax, drink, and find true expressive freedom at this point because I stepped out of the reclusive hole I put myself into. I'm currently happily married to 2 people with a decent career on my hands. I have to give you some perspective. Up until that moment, I went through 9 years of grade school bullying and alienation. Going through college, I did have interesting conversations with some people there, along with some of the teachers, but I didn't make any personal connections. The parties my friends took me to, I quietly would wander around, bored out of my mind. Not even confident enough to try and find something I could relate to with other people there. I was essentially a wallflower. There are multiple trips to Canada because the drinking age is 19 there, and it actually makes me sick to think of how much time and money was wasted there simply because I was afraid of being alone, losing the few friends I currently had. There were times that they would try to reminisce with me some of the events and experiences we had up there, and I couldn't relate or remember any of them because so much of it was blocked off like it was a fever dream. It was the exact opposite experience after I went to that convention and started making new friends. With the exception of one, all my other high school friends faded from existence, and it was like getting a second chance to live before the time came to really hunker down and adult my way to independence and self-sufficiency. It was like getting a second chance to live before the time came to really hunker down and adult my way to independence and self-sufficiency. I think it's better when I monitor it. Hey, Heather. I took in as much as I could, as quickly as I could, because I knew it would not last forever. At the same time, I didn't lose focus on improving my skills. I hate to think what I'd be like, what my life would be like now if I didn't take the first steps out of my comfort zone, my protective shell of solitude, all those years ago. No direction, no focus, locked on to a path working to make ads for billboards and websites, letting my own creativity flounder and be exploited. I just wanted to be a ghost, hiding away in a hole, posting art, and never making any effort to make friends with anyone online or outside my current circle. My family, my friends before all this and after, the fans and audience I've obtained, I know ultimately it's keeping a positive outlook and attitude that allows me to keep going and to not lose my sense of passion. Also a little bit of optimistic nihilism in there. But it's also being able to connect with other positive people in my life that fed into that pursuit. Though I do make the effort and not allow myself to be boxed into one simple label, especially with the topics I cover on this channel and my other channel, Weird Source. Like and subscribe. The furry fans I've found drove me to refine my skills as a creative person. The furry fans I've found drove me to refine my skills as a creative person, not just for my own sake, but to give meaning to all the support and help I've gotten from others. From friendships to strangers cheering me on through comments and subs to financial contributions, I'm grateful for it all. Even if everything were to collapse the next day, I have more than I ever would have had if I just sat down in my parents' basement drawing pictures for myself and not stepping out of my comfort zones. A lot of furries have their versions of what it's all about. They'll cry and moan, "We are a community. We need to shame people into maintaining a commercially Disney-fied image. We are a family, a community. We need to shame people into maintaining a commercial Disney-fied image." I stress, in the end, it's just an aesthetic. Whatever online displays of cringening you come across, nightmare imagery you witness, or stories you pick up on, it's whatever the fuck people want it to be. Be it clean, dirty, provocative. There are no rules outside of the common rule of humanity, which is don't be a goatsy. There are no rules outside of the common rule of humanity, which is don't be a goatsy. That's why I just mainly focus on what my experience has been, because it's different for everyone. It involved risk-taking, enduring some heartbreak, embarrassing moments, learning about myself, and taking time to reflect on my own personal flaws to try and be less of a goatsy. Good times, bad times, weird times. I get it all and done it all without losing my sense of self or pandering to current trends. As far as I know, at least. Point is, it has all worked out so far, despite the chances of it not. Alright, I think I've said enough. Got any furry stories of your own? I don't care if they are positive, negative. Feel free to post them anytime in the comments and I'll put them in another video. Thanks for sharing this with everyone that you know, including your Uncle Frank. Oh god, did I read the wrong one? Oh wait, I think this is probably important to include in there. Alright, here's some things I can insert later. It's like if someone tells you every day not to touch the red button. Don't touch the red button. You can't help but think about touching the red button. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. think this is what I should read instead of that other middle part. This might sound better. To try and give you some perspective what my life was like in school growing up, I never had much in terms of recognition among my peers. I was singled out and tormented for the better part of 9 years in grade school. It was only with a growing maturity that I was finally left alone. I went into college still trying to come to terms with my own sexuality, overcoming thoughts of suicide and religious guilt. It wouldn't be until another 10 years that I moved past the after effects of my bullying experiences. The first step was accepting myself for what I was and understanding it didn't determine who I was as a person. It's a long, complicated story. For now, I'll just say that I wouldn't be such a furry weirdo if it wasn't for the 10 long years of religious instilled guilt. There was no connection being made with peers outside of the few I had left over from high school. No friends were made in college, no deep conversations, no promises of a decent future, finding great disappointment from those close to me, and in turn, drifting apart and losing all ambitions for the dreams we all shared with each other. After going to a furry convention and local meetups, coming out of my hole into the real world, I had respect from people, understanding, and having no more fear of being social or known. In fact, I wanted to be known. It was a game changer, a second chance at being able to live a little before having to hunker down and adult my way to independence and self-sufficiency. For many of us, we didn't get to be teenagers. We had to fake our way through in order to avoid attention and unwanted conflicts. In 2 of the most eventful years of my life, from 22 to 24, I got to make up... In 2 of the most eventful years of my life, I got to make up for those lost years just a little bit. A lot of people I met were helpful and supportive in my skills and ambitions. Interacting with various people and making actual friends led me to accepting my sexuality and later being married to both of my husbands who encouraged and support me in my endeavors. They are part of my fuel. Though I'm not directly involved on the inside, nor am I blatant about it, especially when it comes to this show, it only drives me more to do what I do. To refine my skills as a creative person, not just for my own sake, but to give meaning to all the support and help I've gotten to move forward. I need water. Alright, I think that will suffice. I think this is a good replacement, too, for the other paragraph. Now, keep in mind, I never interacted with any furry before. I just quietly downloaded artwork and mentally struggled with my desires, reinforced by religious guilt, that I just got done overcoming. Life is full of ironies, and if it wasn't for the church promoting beliefs that such thoughts and desires were evil and could send me to hell, then I would never have thought about it as much as like I did. It's like if someone tells you every day not touch the... It's like if someone every day tells you not to touch the red button. Don't touch the red button. Don't touch it. You can't help but think about touching the red button. It's like if someone tells you not to whiz on the electric fence. Don't whiz on the electric fence. You can't help but think about whizzing on the electric fence. Alright, I think we're good there. 25 minutes, should be roughly about 20 minutes recording there. Probably less. Alright, let's rename this. Let's talk about furries while I paint some. I haven't heard from Cerberus in a while. I gotta poke that guy. I heard this tune. Alright, where? Oh yeah, sorry, it's an official episode. I should have some skit involving Kier and Nash. Okay, we're just gonna upload it on here so I can. Wait, no, we'll put it on Google Drive. Just have to download it later. Clicking on shit, clicking on shit, clicking on shit. Alright. How big is this file anyways? 18 megs, not bad. A whole lot fucking better than Audacity. Jesus Christ. Alright. Think Vox Machina, you got the audio on there? Yes. Okay, cool. Alright, what's our next one? I gotta get some water first. Christian persecution. That's gonna be a fun one. Actually, I want to hear it real quick. Should listen to what I record and see if it helps that I have a monitor as opposed to just talking on my own. It seems like monitoring actually helps, despite the echo. It doesn't seem to be throwing me off like it did when I first started. Let's talk about furries while I paint some. Alright. No. Let's open it with that. In my college years. Because of the stories floating around online, there is I'm going over are there. Why does it sound like shit? Are you serious? Okay. I gotta do this again. I guess that's why the file is so small. So I'll essentially it's not my microphone, it's the fucking program. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Why do I get the feeling it didn't use my mic? It used my webcam. And that would be why it sounds so shitty. I bet you any money. Seriously? Why didn't I test this first? I feel like such a fool. We all make mistakes. Oh god. Holy shit. I can't believe it. Why didn't I test this first? I'm very pissed. I would have been better off just to record straight from OBS here. Great. Fantastic. Amazing. Great job. Awesome show. Oh, looks like I have to do it again. Well, I need a break then. I'm gonna get some water because I'm starting to sweat. It's getting hot in here. Gross. Fucking gross. I'm pissed. I didn't know a program could really be that detrimental to your recording quality. That's great. That's fantastic. Alright. I guess I should have just stuck with Audacity. This is a test of my audio program here. Let's see how it works in comparison to anything else. Hopefully it sounds a lot better and doesn't fuck over my audio quality. That was a pretty big disappointment. This is a test of my audio program here. Let's see how it works in comparison to anything else. Hopefully it sounds a lot better and doesn't fuck over my audio quality. That was a pretty... I can hear it out of my headphones. Oh wait, is that the monitor though? Hold on. This is a test of my audio program here. Let's see how it works in comparison to anything else. Hopefully it sounds a lot better and doesn't fuck over my audio quality. That was a pretty big disappointment.
Well, know that you're a bunch of nasty-ass furries, and I think you're trash. Ha 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 ha.
Alright, let's try this again. Holy shit. What a mess. Oh well. Just means when I read the second draft rather than the first. Alright. I'd say let's read the first couple paragraphs here, because I think these ones are actually fun. know, I just feel like I'm just pussyfooting around just by saying furry fan rather than just saying furry. But at the same time, I can understand that it's like aesthetics, not a personality or whatever. Alright, well, let's stop diddly-daddling and get started. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and this is Crafty Arts, where we art. So, since I got a couple of paid commissions of some furry characters... Alright, let's see just how that sounds. I'm sorry, I just have to. I'm Crafty Andy, and this is Crafty Arts, where we art. So, since I got a couple of paid commissions of some furry characters... I think I should probably do it without the monitoring. I don't know. Seems like I do fine without it. Alright, let's trash this. Let's trash it all. Thank you. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and this is Crafty Arts, where we art. Here I got a couple of paid commissions of some furry characters. We have Snow the Dutchie, Dutch Dragon, Stardew the bird creature thing, and Cerberus the lightning pattern doggo. I wanted to talk about furries and my involvement with them. Seems like a good time as any. Now, I consider myself a furry or a furry fan, as in the aesthetics. Yeah. Now, I consider myself an artist who was a furry, as in, I love the aesthetics and concepts. I know it's ironic considering I have a sizable collection of pornography. pornography. Go to parties, conventions, and have little personal get-togethers. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You'd think I just say it, but I don't like being tied down to groups or communities. I like to keep a sense of individuality. In the end, when you strip it down, furry is an aesthetic. That is it. Like a funny hat, a style of animation, or the characters in a story. Mouse Guard is a furry story, just like Lindsay Lohan's NFT persona sale is a furry character. Saying otherwise is like calling the sky green. Whatever it is beyond the aesthetic to a person, that's up to them. It's not a membership group. It doesn't have a philosophy to follow or a deity to sacrifice babies to. We just feed them to Raptor Jesus for fun. We just feed them to Raptor Jesus for fun. We just feed them to Raptor Jesus for fun. I'm not responsible for anyone else's behavior, or goddamn those Lindsay Lohan NFTs, or goddamn the Lindsay Lohan or goddamn these NFTs. Are we all glad that they're dead? Is this a horse I'm beating to death even further? I don't care. I wanted to say more about it, so here I am beating that dead gibbed horse even harder. Because you look at any of this art, compare it to Mila Fox, Celeste, Spectrum Shift. This shit had no business being called art, especially when it's backed by corpo interest and scam artists. I digress. Let's talk about furries. Da-da-da! The time I got... Oh, yeah. Let's go down to the actual paragraph here. How I first got involved was after getting curious about the going-ons at conventions I came across. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, looks like I, Man, this is... This is why I need to make these when I make them. When I write them up. Alright, so I think it would be around here. We would want to, yeah, I mean, there's a church thing in there. I think we'll, yeah, okay, because I'm cutting it off too soon. Yeah, because I kind of sum it all up a little bit better, I think. Alright, fine. How I first got involved was after getting curious about the going-ons at conventions. I came across one in Michigan. I told a friend about my guilty little secret regarding the things I was into drawing on the side, which is a story in itself for another place in time on the Weird Source channel. Like and subscribe. Now keep in mind I never interacted with any furry before, really. I just quietly downloaded art. Artwork. And mentally struggled with my desires, reinforced by religious guilt that I just got done overcoming. Life is full of ironies, and if it wasn't for the church promoting beliefs that such thoughts and desires were evil, that it could send me to hell, I would never have thought about it as much as like I did. They made me more of a furry weirdo than any furry with cum for blood atheist ever could. The church made me more of a furry weirdo than any cum for blood furry atheist could ever hope for me to become. It's like if someone tells you every day not to whiz on the electric fence. Don't whiz on that electric fence. You can't help but think about whizzing on the electric fence. Also, stories I read online made me think if I ever came out about my interests, I'd lose my job, my friends, family, etc. Until See, I don't know. I want to mention this stuff in high school. Let's do that. My first exposure was in high school. It was a dirty little secret of mine, amplified by that religious guilt. Yeah. I don't know, I like that better. The analogy of the was fence is better. Alright. Let's fix this and redo it. The time I got my understanding of their existence was in high school after doing some internet searching for peculiar things. It was a dirty little secret of mine. I just quietly downloaded artwork. There we go. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's just start this over. Fuck it. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and this is Crafty Arts, where we art. So since I got a couple of paid commissions of some furry characters here, we have Snow the Dutchy, Dutch Dragon, Stardew the bird creature thing, and Cerberus the lightning pattern doggo. I wanted to talk about furries and my involvement with them. Seemed like a good a time as any. Now I consider myself an artist who is a furry, as in the furry is a great aesthetic, and I love the concepts behind it. I know it's ironic considering I have a sizable collection of furry pornography. Go to parties, conventions, and have little personal get-togethers. You'd think I just say it outright, but I don't like being tied down to groups or communities fully. I like to keep a sense of individuality. In the end, when you strip it down, furry's an aesthetic. That is, like a funny hat, a style of animation, or the characters in a story. Mosgard is a furry story just like Lindsay Lohan's NFT Persona sale was a furry character. Saying otherwise is like saying the sky is green. Whatever it is beyond the aesthetic to a person, that's up to them. It's not a membership group, it doesn't have a philosophy to follow or a deity to sacrifice babies to. We just feed them to Raptor Jesus for fun. I'm not responsible for anyone else's behavior or goddamn that... I'm not responsible for anyone else's behavior or goddamn those NFTs. Can't we all just take a moment one more time to celebrate that they are fucking dead? Are they dead? Are they gonna die? Are they gonna come back? I don't know, but if you look at any of this artwork, tell me that there isn't anything else better out there. I dare you to. This makes all the DeviantArt OCs don't steal look like masterpieces. Wow. This makes all those DeviantArt OC characters don't steal look like masterpieces. Compared to Mila Fox or Celeste, Spectrum Shift, or fuck, even my own. This shit had no business being called art or being sold for major money or being backed by corpo interests. In fact, can't we just burn all corporations? That'd be fun. Anyways, I digress. Let's talk about furries. The time I got my understanding of their existence was in high school. Alright, let's go over here. Yeah. The first time I got wind of their existence was in high school. I had a actual I got my first internet connection, and I was just searching for some funny pictures, and came across the term. It was a dirty little secret of mine, amplified by religious guilt. I just quietly downloaded lots and lots of artwork while making my own on occasion, even without the internet's help, and mentally struggled with my desires and fantasies reinforced by religious guilt. Ooh. This is getting bad. How I first got involved was after getting curious about the going-ons at conventions. I came across one in Michigan. I see where this is going. Okay. How I first got involved was after getting curious about the going-ons at conventions. I came across one in Michigan within my local area. I told a friend about my guilty little secret regarding the things I was into drawing on the side. I told my friend about my guilty little secret and regarding the things I was into drawing on the side. Since elementary school, before the internet, no one could point to the internet and say it influenced me and corrupted me. Haha, I'm one of the OGs, bitch. It's all a story in itself for another time and place on the Weird Source channel. Like and subscribe. Now keep in mind, I never interacted with any furries before, really, at this point. The time I got my understanding of their existence was in high school. It was a dirty little secret of mine, looking up funny pictures, and then happened across the term. It was also amplified by social and religious guilt. I was going through a mental struggle regarding my desires, and just recently around this time, I overcame them. Life is full of ironies, and if it wasn't for the church promoting beliefs that such thoughts and desires, like getting together with Guilmon and Renamon, preferably at the same time, that these things were evil and going to send me to hell, I never would have thought about it as much as I did. The church and its religious guilt and teachings made me more... The church and its religious guilt and teachings made me more of a furry... The religious guilt instilled by my church and the environment made me more of a furry weirdo than any come-for-blood furry atheist could ever hope for me to become. I gotta write this down, make sure it sounds good. The church with its religious guilt and environment made me more of a furry weirdo than any come-for-blood atheist fervor could ever hope to achieve out of me. It's like if someone tells you not to whiz on the electric fence. Don't whiz on the electric fence. You can't help but think about whizzing on the electric fence. Also, there are plenty of stories I read online that made me think that if I ever came out about this interest of mine, or got exposed, or whatever, I'd lose my job, my friends, family, until... To give you a perspective, I was willing to tell my best friend about being sexually assaulted in the 2nd grade before I was willing to tell him about being a furry and drawing funny pictures. And I had this built-up fear and resistance into exposing myself in any public manner until I saw... And I had this built-up fear and resistance to exposing myself in any public manner until I saw that Tracy Butler is going to be the guest of honor at Furry Connection North, now known as Motor City FurCon. I thought, I know her. She's a professionally published illustrator that became popularized by her series Lackadaisy, which is about a couple of hustlers wrapped up in the bootlegging scene of the Prohibition era. And they're all cats. Well, she certainly has a career and future prospects, so maybe there was more to this than seedy sex parties and shameful fantasies. So maybe there was more to this than seedy sex parties and shameful fantasies. I later told one of my normie friends about it and the kind of naughty stuff. And the kind of naughty stuff I was occasionally drawing since elementary school before the internet. He would become part of the reason I ended up going. With his push, we prepared ourselves looking up articles and videos. I'll never forget what my coworker said when I told her where we were going. Hey, friendly coworker, guess where I'm going? A furry convention. Aren't those people that dress up in animals and... Aren't those people that dress up as animals and dry hump each other? Yep. Aw, hell no, Andy. Aw, no. Andy, no. No. Something along those lines. Something along those lines. There we were, in all our social awkwardness. I went there under the guise of making a video for the internet. I went there under the guise of making a video for the internet. After the interaction with the chairman and the registration window, people thought we were undercover radio jockeys trying to infiltrate the convention to capture some cringe. Which, if you see a furry convention, you don't have to try too hard to capture cringe. Thankfully, though, that changed once we were upgraded our... Thankfully, though, those doubts changed once we upgraded our day pass to a weekend pass. We interviewed some artists, including one of the performers we discovered the day before, to the Ranting Griffin. Oh, boy. Boy, oh boy, do things change. But on top of that, keep in mind this was 13 years ago now. If you must know, let's just say he had a bit of a fall. On top of capturing a shit ton of video way back in 2000 and fuck. We interviewed some artists, including one of the performers we discovered the day before, to the Ranting Griffin, on top of capturing a shit ton of video way back in 2000 and fuck. And yes, if you're a furry watching this, you probably already know about To the Ranting Griffin. And, no. Just no. Never again. How unfortunate. How the mighty fall. Anyways, I plan on getting into more detail on that regarding... Anyways, I plan on getting in more detail on my other channel, Weird Sores. Like and subscribe if you want to check that out. Had a good time, and then later I did a search for furry groups around my area, and wouldn't you know it, there... That's too complicated to explain that shit in a dressing manner. We interviewed some artists, including one of the major performers there. We discovered the very day before, known as To the Ranting Griffin. He's gone now, but back then it was a kind of a big deal. On top of that, it was capturing a shit ton of video way back in 2000 and fuck. I plan on getting into more detail on my other channel, Weird Sores, if you want to check that out, like and subscribe. Had a good time, and then later I did a research, and then had a good time, and then later I did a search for some furry groups around my area, and wouldn't you know, there were plenty. Met up with some people, introduced myself to quickly sum up 12 years, made some long, new, long-lasting, reliable friends. Like for many people involved, we grew up never going through a lot of cringy experiences that came with growing up. Failed, crazy relationships, destructive antics, illegal drinking parties, and drugs. It was like having a second chance to live. A lot of the restrictions that were placed on my own self-expression and creativity were gone. I finally found a crowd of people that I didn't feel threatened by, that I didn't need to hide so much of myself, that it makes for next to nothing to conversation. It was the most eventful 2 years of my life. To try to give you some perspective, what my life was like in school growing up, I never had much in terms of recognition among my peers. I was singled out and tormented for the better part of 9 years in grade school. It was only with a growing maturity that I was finally left alone. I went into college still trying to come to terms with my own sexuality. I went into college still trying to come to terms with my own sexuality, overcoming thoughts of suicide and, once again, religious guilt. It wouldn't be until another 10 years that I moved past the after effects of my bullying experiences. The first step was accepting myself for what I was and understanding it didn't determine who I was as a person. It's a long, complicated story. For now, I'll just say that it... It's a long, complicated story for another time. There was no connections being made with peers outside of the few I had left over from high school. No friends were made in college, no deep conversations, no promises of a decent future, finding a great disappointment from those close to me, and in turn, drifting apart and losing all ambitions for the dreams we all shared with each other. After going to a furry convention and local meetups, coming out of my hole into the real world, I had respect from people, understanding, and having no more fear of being social or known. In fact, I wanted to be known. It was a game changer, a second chance at being able to live a little before having to hunker down and adult my way to independence and self-sufficiency. For many of us, we didn't get to be teenagers. We had to fake our way through in order to avoid attention and unwanted conflicts. In 2 of the most eventful years of my life, from 22 years to 24 years, I got to make up for those lost years, just a little bit. In some ways, I still am. I just don't get to do that as often. A lot of people I met were helpful and supportive of my skills and ambitions. Interacting with various people and making actual friends led me to accepting my sexuality and later being married to both of my husbands, who encourage and support me in my endeavors now. They are part of my fuel. Though I'm not directly involved on the inside, nor I am blatant about it, especially when it comes to this show. That's not true. That's completely untrue. Though I may not seem as directly involved on the inside or outwardly blatant about it, it drives me to do what I do, to refine my skills as a creative person, not just for my own sake, but to give meaning to all the support and help I've gotten to move forward from everyone I've known and still know. There are a lot of factors outside my control that led to this prospect of doing entertainment full-time. My family, my friends, before all this and after, the fans and audience I've obtained. I know ultimately it's keeping a positive outlook and attitude that allows me to keep going and not to lose my sense of passion. But it's also being able to connect with other positive people in my life that fed into that. Also, a little optimistic nihilism kind of helps in that fact. I'd hate to think what I'd be like, what my life would be like now, if I didn't take those first steps coming out of my protective shell of solitude all those years ago. I'd hate to think what my life would be like if I didn't take the first steps coming out of my protective shell of solitude all those years ago. No direction, no focus, locked onto a path, working to make ads for billboards, cars, websites, letting my own creativity flounder and be exploited in order to just follow and fit in within the status quo, what is expected of me by others. What is expected of me by others. Up until that point, I just wanted to be a ghost, hiding away in a hole, posting art, and never making any effort to make friends with anyone online or outside my current circle. I'm happy where I am right now. I continue to make efforts to achieve my measures of success. I continue to make the effort to achieve my measure of success and alongside my husbands who have made so much possible for me, while in turn I try to do the same. A lot of furries have their visions of what it's all about. Man, this is better. I don't know why I read that one. Alright. This last part's a lot better than the other last part. Though I do make sure that I'm not allowed to be boxed into one simple label, especially with topics I cover on this channel. The furry fans I've found drove me to refine my skills as a creative person, not just for my own sake, but to give meaning to all the support and help I've gotten from others. From friendships to strangers cheering me on through comments and subs to financial contributions, I'm grateful for it all. Even if everything were to collapse the next day, I have more than I ever would have had if all I did was just sit in my parents' basement drawing pictures for myself and not stepping out of my comfort zones. A lot of furries have their visions of what it's all about. They'll cry and moan, "We are a community, we're family. We need to shame those people into maintaining a commercial, Disney-fied image." I stress still, in the end, it's just an aesthetic. Whatever online displays of cringeing you come across, nightmare imagery you witness, stories you pick up on, stuff that gets whatever gets you excited within your own brain. It's whatever the fuck people want it to be. Be it clean, dirty, provocative, erotica. There are no rules outside of the common rule of humanity, which is just don't be a goatsy. That's why I just mainly focus on my experience, because it's different for everyone. It involved risk-taking, enduring some heartbreak, embarrassing moments, learning about myself, and taking time to reflect on my own personal flaws to try and be less of a goatsy. Good times, bad times, weird times. I got it all and done it all without losing myself, I got it all and done it all without losing my sense of self or pandering to current trends. As far as I know, at least. Point is, it has all worked out so far, despite the chances of it not. Alright, I said enough. But got any furry stories of your own? I don't care if they are positive or negative. Feel free to post them anytime in the comments, and I'll make a video of them. I'll make a video out of them. Thanks for sharing this with everyone you know, including your Uncle Frank. Thanks for sharing this with everyone that you know, including your Uncle Frank. And liking and subscribing. You know how it goes. Alright, we'll figure out how to piece this out. Piece this up. Alright, water. Let's get the next script. Alright, how big is the folder? Oh, not that bad at all. Oh wait, no, that's the one I just recorded. It just means I can get some more water.
children, animals, old people, doesn't matter. I just love killing.
Hold on, I need to make a thing.
Children, animals, be murdered. This shoots antimatter. My target can't be killed with regular man. Nice to meet you, Morty. Listen, if you ever need anybody murdered, please give me a call.
You're giving him a card?
With ethics, I will kill anyone, anywhere. Children, animals, old people, doesn't matter. I just love killing.
You sell weapons to killers for money? Ugh, you've got what the intergalactic call a very planetary mindset, Morty. It's more complicated out here. These are flurbos. Do you understand what 2 humans can accomplish with 3,000 of these? Oh, what? An entire afternoon at Blips and Chips! Oh, this place is the...
Yeah, we got a new thing. Okay, it's done exporting. Please tell me it sounds good.
Michigan, within my local area. I told a friend about my guilty little secret regarding the things I was into drawing on the side. I told my friend about my guilty little secret and regarding the things I was into drawing on the side since elementary school, before the internet. No one can point to the internet and say it influenced me and corrupted me. Haha, I'm one of the OGs, bitch. It's all a story in itself for another time and place on the Weird Source channel. Like and subscribe. Now keep in mind, I never...
Alright, just in case the article disappears. Alright. Let's do myself a favor, get rid of the monitor so it doesn't pick up an echo. I do realize that having a monitor actually does help.
Man, everyone's talking about the Twitch fucking... This girl had sex on Twitch live and she only got a 7-day suspension. Think about the implications there, right? Like, granted, I saw my first porno when I was in the 6th grade or whatever, but you know, no one showed it to me no one went out of their way to provide it to me or anything like that. It makes me wonder, like, there's like it's so easy for any child to just go online without age restrictions on or any adult supervision and just come across something like this on Twitch. Carol's kittens fucked on Twitch and they only got a 7-day suspension. You gotta love it. You gotta fucking love it. The biases and everything. If I was doing that, I would have been banned forever. Anyways, let's do some actual work though. Let's need more coffee to keep myself awake. Ooh, that sounds like a better. Sick of being punished. Christians are tired of being punished for their views. All right. There's some shit here I gotta look up. All right. Letters on religion from the founding fathers. I hope I have some links. Seems like everyone likes to cherry pick what quotes they said. Thomas Jefferson believed in the teachings of Jesus, but he didn't believe him to be a deity. There we go. I like this one from James Madison. A few from James Madison here, apparently. There's Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, gross. Stop mystifying the founding fathers. They're dead. They don't fucking matter anymore. They're dead.
I mean, that's one thing that needs to be said. Who cares what they wanted at the time? They have some good ideas, but for some reason, some of those good ideas didn't include abolishing slavery outright. I think this will do. Alright, let's get recorded. Okay. Oh yeah, we need to get that. We need to get that, I need to get that trailer. Oh, wait a minute. Well, no, we got it. Trailer, kidnapped, for Christ. I like this. No, 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 no. Get back here, you little shit. There we go. I have the documentary, so it doesn't matter. I just want the trailer though. The trailer's pretty good.
One morning I woke up, 2 guys were at my house.
You need to wake up and put clothes on. You're going to a school in the Dominican Republic.
They tied a belt around my waist, dragged me with the belt to their car.
He's a fucking dog.
I got sent down here because I am gay, and my parents, they just weren't okay with that.
The next thing I knew, I'm waking up and my best friend's gone.
We began to become suspicious.
We weren't sure where he was and why he wasn't returning any of our calls.
We here at New Horizons Youth Ministry will set out a structure and discipline that will help you understand how to live your life.
They have to ask what we want them to do for everything.
May I step in? That's what it is. May I step in the living room?
A way to kind of show them the amount of pain they're putting on everybody else is to put a little bit of pain on them.
School is not a nice place. It's not a good place for children. It really hurt both my brother and I.
And here's the thing, you have unqualified people LARPing as counselors for children that have no degree, no education in psychology or to handle this shit. Just they were ordained by the church, so they get away with it.
Was there anything that you saw that would be considered physical abuse?
I didn't see it. I heard it.
This kind of thing I knew went on in North Korea. I knew it went on in the former Soviet Union. There's no government regulation.
Oh, they still go on. They just don't like to advertise about it. It's, you know, you have to be part of like some church community that's really like full of money, and sometimes a church will pay for your kid to go out there, which costs about $50 grand a year. $50,000, at least at this time, when this documentary was made in 2014. It's almost 10 years ago now. Fuck me. It's probably almost double that now at this point.
They've how things were, you'd be sad.
I would have to honestly state that there has been things that have taken place.
I feel like I'm going to lose my mind here. I feel like I'm going to crack, and I'm just not going to be able to go any further.
What we were doing was wrong. It did not help them. Somebody's got to answer for that.
We recognized we were probably going to get one shot at demanding his release.
He needs to be able to walk out of there. We go in there tomorrow with whatever we have.
I am a U.S. citizen. I should be free.
We're in the business of trying to save prodigals.
Oh, yeah, the fuck they are. It was worse than fucking Jesus Camp. What else we got here?
And then it all happened, essentially. I was stuck in this program and unable to leave. And, I mean, they gave me a phone call upon arrival to my dad.
Excuse me.
You know, the house father at the time, Brian, said, "You have 2 minutes to talk to your dad." And I really didn't know what to say. Brian told me to tell him that I'm here, and I basically said, "I'm here." And, you know, I had no idea that I wouldn't be able to talk to him for 3 months. And Kate came to
I guess I better download this and I
the
can
campus
make the
to do
credit.
her film about 3 or 4 months into when I was there. Yeah, and then that's when you saw me, 17-year-old on the documentary for Kidnapped for Christ. Kate was from Biola University, and when she got there, she introduced herself. She was there to film the stories of the students and their transformation for through God, essentially.
This guy looks like he's been through the ringer.
We were all there due to having gotten in serious trouble, and or that it was a bunch of juvenile delinquents there to get a second chance. I think all the students had a slight sense they might be able to get their chance to shed some light on the abusive reality of the program.
His parents aren't ashamed. It's comment section. Parents are not a fucking ashamed. They probably still feel like they did what they needed to do. They threatened to sue the director of the documentary. Fuck them.
For me, I hoped and prayed she'd interview me. Just the fact that she was from Biola, because Angie, who actually was in the film, was going to be an incoming freshman there, and she was one of my best friends. And it was one of those, this is too much of a coincidence. She asked me for an interview, and I took a leap of faith and told my story. Told her about Angie, and all the Escuela Caribe staff had left the room during my interview, which was extremely rare. A lot of other kids had interviews that, with the staff at least within earshot. I don't know how it happened that I was able to get a private interview, and I honestly felt that I could, confide in her with the, truth of my story. And yeah, and she also took, I don't know if I said, she took interest in me because I was a newer student, and I might have a perspective and honesty that's less brainwashed than other of the students.
Well, yeah.
Because those that were there for years.
Nothing makes you question.
Their answers were mostly
nothing makes you question your religion more.
Yeah, I guess.
Shut up. Nothing makes you question your religion faster and more is when you're given an ultimatum that what you are is going to send you to hell no matter what you do. Especially when your struggle seems so unique compared to everyone else. Like, straight people don't have to fucking go through any of this shit. They all make it sound so easy, too. Oh, just make yourself straight. Just be straight. Why can't you just like girls? Just get a boner for girls. If you're a guy. Oh, you're a guy that thinks they're a woman? No, God made you perfect the way you are. Wait, what about this kid with Down syndrome who won't have any kind of fulfilling life at all? Oh, well, he's perfect too. Oh, okay, so you wouldn't get him any treatment? or any help in their development or anything like that, so they could be mildly functional. Give me a fucking break. If someone's born with no legs, you're not going to give them any special course in managing themselves and how to how to get through the days in life and everything. Come on. Oh, you're just perfect the way you are. But I can't go upstairs like everyone else. I need a wheelchair. Oh well, you want to spit in God's image? You want to spit on God's plan for you by getting help?
Yes. Things are okay. It's not that bad. This happens, but it's not really bad. Even after 7 months of me being there, I was just kind of numb to everything, and
yeah, you're dead into it.
It was what it was, and she also told me from her observations I didn't fit into the mold of all the troubled teens among other students. Not to say that any of those students were there. They were there for drugs and violence, deserved to be there more than I. But during the interview, I guess it didn't occur to her that kids were sent to Escuela Caribe, for being gay as well. And Escuela Caribe was essentially this one-stop shop Christian treatment program that really believed they could fix anything through their perception of God. Very dark and twisted. And they claim to treat kids for clinical anxiety, their sexual orientation, drug abuse. The one kid was there for playing too many computer games and listening to rap music in his house.
Yeah, so you must have felt a bit like, why am I here? Because they're equating my sexuality with people who've, I don't know, perhaps had a problem with stealing things or drugs or that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the way that they treated kids that were gay, they pretty much told them that they weren't there for being gay, that they were there for trust issues. Their mentality on it is that it doesn't exist. Gay people don't exist. You're not gay, you just don't trust women. Or something happened to you, you were abused. And so I kind of...
I'm sure the parents love that shit too. I bet they love when the pastor or priest they send them to comes back and says, like, well, your child was either abused by you, or your wife, your husband, uncle, or whatever. I bet that really chimes well with families. I'm gonna switch over to my account. Thank you. I need a folder so I can upload shit. Persecuted, because I gotta have these clips on hand so I can upload them to my iPad. And this one. All right.
I wasn't there because I was gay. I had that constant questioning, like, why am I really here? I've never been in trouble with the law. I fought with my parents, and I know exactly why I'm here, and it's because, they weren't able to come around on the fact that, I was homosexual. And
so to be clear, you weren't like a law-breaking or violent kid. I know you got angry because of your parents didn't accept you as who you were, but it was just because they found out, or did you tell them?
They found out, essentially, and that kind of led to a cascade of me being open to, my friends, and essentially I didn't care at school that people knew, and honestly, I had a great high school experience. There were those that...
Glad you did.
The students who didn't really accept it, it didn't really matter to me, and my friends' parents knew exactly the kind of issues I was having at home, and I honestly received so much love and support, and it really got me through everything. Just in the coming out phase. I mean, compared to other students these days who still get, bullied at school, I had a really unique high school experience.
Okay, I gotta record these two things before it's too late. Let's do this. Recording number 1 of 3 today.
Where's that fucking article? Where's the fucking article? Where's the fucking article? Article. There you are. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and these are my thoughts. Some time ago, I came across this wonderful article. Christians are sick of being punished for their views in America. Let's just go through it, shall we? In fact, I think I had a better take here. Yeah, okay. Let's read some of the shit that's on here. It may seem radical to say these days, but it's true. America is a nation founded on Judeo-Christian values. Words from Scripture are inscribed on our money and our most hallowed institutions, including Congress, the U.S. Supreme Court, and state capitals everywhere. Our Declaration of Independence acknowledges our Creator as the being from whom all our rights flow. This does not mean that other religious groups are not welcomed in America. Of course they are. People who practice no religion at all are also welcomed. Wrong. Completely fucking wrong. First off, In God We Trust was not on our money until... Let me get the actual date, because someone will call me up. In God We Trust was first added to the U.S. coins during the beginning of the Civil War. With religious sentiment was on an upswing, and concerned Americans wanted the world to know what their country stood for. The first phrase was minted in 1864. So, no. And let's get rid of this notion that we are a Christian nation once and for all and read some letters, shall we? Shall we read some letters? Let's read some letters. All right. Erecting the wall of separation between church and state is absolutely essential in a free society. Thomas Jefferson, 1808. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. You know, I should probably read in a voice. Erecting the wall of separation between church and state is absolutely essential in a free society. Thomas Jefferson, 1808. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. Benjamin Franklin. I have recently been examining all the known superstitions of the world, and do not find in our particular superstition one redeeming feature. They are all alike, founded upon fables and mythology. Thomas Jefferson again. The government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. John Adams. The civil rights of none shall be abridged on account of religious belief or worship, nor shall any national religion be established, nor shall the full and equal rights of conscience be in any manner or on any pretext infringed. James Madison. I have examined all the known... yep, that's Thomas Jefferson. Religious bondage, shackles, and... Religious bondage shackles and debilitates the mind and unfits it for every noble enterprise. James Madison. Sure there's plenty more, but that's good enough. Yeah, there probably is a good video of that. Maybe you could probably link to. Founding Fathers. On religion. Letters. Here it is.
Founding Fathers on religion, in their own words. A brief disclaimer. I'm sure that when devout believers hear the following quotations I've selected, I'll undoubtedly be accused of cherry picking, of trying to characterize the Founding Fathers as being wholly antagonistic to religion. I freely admit that many of the Founding Fathers were religious in their own way, and that some even promoted the merits of organized religion. That being said, my goal here is not to paint the founders of this country as atheists, which generally speaking they certainly were not, but simply to combat the misconception often espoused by the religious right that the United States of America from its inception...
There we go, okay. Oh, it's recording. Jesus Christ. Anyways. What is... let's further read the article, I think, first. Alright. But while the First Amendment guarantees the free exercise of religion, we are no longer a nation that fully supports the right to hold or express Judeo-Christian values. Excuse me, what is being denied to you for being Christian? I was denied a car sale, an apartment, and had to take down the pride flag and have some fake being straight to get our... Oh, wait. Yeah, and had to take down my pride flag and have someone fake being straight to get our house properly appraised. Are there conversion camps for Christians? Can I pay $50,000 a year to legally have my kid trafficked to another country and be reformed through mental and physical abuse by unqualified, self-appointed counselors? Can I pay $50,000 a year to have my kid legally trafficked to another country and be reformed through mental and physical abuse done by unqualified, self-proclaimed council leaders, like in the documentary Kidnapped for Christ? By the way, not just one facility, but hundreds of facilities throughout the country that try to operate as secretly as possible. These fucking people confuse the inability to impose their superstition on others as discrimination. Like this whole situation with a coach praying out in the open with his players, creating a situation that pressures his players to participate. You can scream it's optional all you want. You really think the odd ones out that refuse to participate are not setting themselves up to be looked over for a scholarship or opportunities to be put out in the field? Marriage license denied, anyone? Medical services denied? Thinking stupid shit? Joe Kennedy, a former high school football coach in Bremerton, was fired from his job in 2015 after conducting prayer sessions at the 50-yard line. He sued his school district in the case that was ultimately decided in his favor by the Supreme Court. What does the Bible say about showboating in regards to your faith? What does the Bible say about showboating in regards to your faith again? This is perfect right here. I don't already have it. Nope, of course not. Alright, paint, post. I probably should do this. Also, I don't need to highlight this. Just need to print. There we go. Do 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 do. All right. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly, let's try this again.
Matthew 6, 1 through 34. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will receive no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly, I say to you that they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Will reward you. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. Meaning that it doesn't fucking count towards getting into heaven at the end. In fact, it even counts against them. It's like a no effect. Your praying out in public has no effect on God. No, wait. Praying out in public loud and proud is ineffective to God. It may seem radical these days, but it's true. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we got that. Okay. It seems radical these days, but it's true. America is founded on... Yeah, we already got that. Okay. Alright, fuck it. Let's try this again. No, that's alright. Alright, so after the first part, Declaration of Independence acknowledges our creator from being rights to flow. Snap, snap, snap. Right there, that's where we at it. Whoop. Alright. Where's that statement? Oh, really? I accidentally closed it. (1864). Thank you. Incorrect. In God We Trust was put on the money in 1864. Well, actually, I kind of read a better thing on there. All right. Here's some statements from the Founding Fathers. I don't know why people like you deify them so much. Didn't God say not to worship? I don't know why people like you deify the Founding Fathers so much. Didn't God say not to worship false idols? These people are dead, right? You know they don't matter anymore at this point, what they want or could have wanted or may want during modern times. I have experienced this firsthand. When I was the scholar in residence at Christopher Newport University in Newport News, Virginia, I proudly and openly identified as a Christian woman of color. In October 2021, I criticized DC Comics for making Superman's son bisexual, saying in a tweet, I don't get why this is necessary. I don't. What if Christian parents of children reading comic books don't want their kids exposed to bisexual characters? This is being pushed onto kids. But it's okay for you, you dumb cunt, to push your shit on your kids, right? Fuck you. Kids don't have the money to buy comic books. You do, stupid breeder. Why don't you give your kid the Action Bible, then, if you think it's so important that they can learn about... If you think it's so important that they instead learn about people like King David, a character who also not only killed 200 soldiers, but collected their foreskins to be used as payment for the king's daughter. You cool with your son being exposed to that character as opposed to Superman's bisexual son? How asinine is this? How asinine is this too? Superman's son. He can smash buildings, He can smash buildings, go supersonic speed, fly. He's an alien. Can he like dick? No! That's impossible! Straight away, my private tweet was brought into public. Oh. Straight away, my private tweet was brought into my public university workplace, and my Christian faith was attacked as a cover for my homophobic views. That's because it is, you dumb fuck. It is, and I can prove it. Are you against queer characters merely existing in entertainment? It is, and I can prove it. In fact, you proved it for yourself. Arguing against queer characters merely existing in entertaining storytelling without using an argument based on superstition. Go for it. Go for it. Do it. See if you can do it. You can't. You fucking can't. Try again. Wrong answer, bitch. I was deemed homophobic, unsafe, and violent by an openly bisexual faculty member who then incited colleagues, university officials, and students against me. Yes, because you're creating a hostile work environment. Yes, because you're creating a hostile work environment. You should just get fucked by a dragon. I was really angry at this TV show, Star Trek. Oh yeah, here we go. Tell me how this would play out. I was really angry at this TV show, Star Trek, for having an interracial kiss. I don't understand why they need to expose us to things like race mixing, because I mean, that's communism and stuff. And according to my Christian Bible, God separated the races in Babel for a reason, then cursed the children of Cain with black skin. What do you mean I'm racist and promote a hostile work environment? What do you mean? What do you mean? Just another attack on my This is just another attack on my Christian's belief. This is just another attack on my Christian beliefs. Won't be long before it's even illegal to believe in God, I bet. All those movies are right. They're gonna one day put us in a camp and make us and force us to take the mark. I fully agree with the fact that marginalized groups have the right to be heard. Their viewpoints should be respected and protected in our public, educational institutions, and even private corporations. But so should the views of Christians. And finally, the Supreme Court seems to agree with me. Your viewpoints are not based in reality, so no, they should not be respected. Your beliefs do not deserve respect from people. Your free speech and freedom of expression does not nullify opposition, especially when you promote such viewpoints as being true and should be enforced by law and by societal pressure. Moron. For the past 50 years, courts have upheld a religious exemption for private or religious schools from Title IX, meaning schools that receive federal education funds do not have to conform to gender policies if they conflict with the core tenets of their faith. In short, religion is a protected class, just like race, gender, and sexual orientation, including homosexuals. Faith is a belief in something without evidence. If some rule or policy you have to follow conflicts with your beliefs, then you get no funding and should be fined out of existence. Try having a business that denies services to straight people or black people. I fucking dare you. And what is your superstition? What is your superstition? Something that doesn't even exist. Rules that are not even based on reality. How does that override something that is in reality, like queer existence and trans people? How does that work exactly? It's completely fucking backwards. But for some reason, people are supposed to be okay with a business denying someone for being queer, and it's okay for schools to get federal funding promoting superstition to kids and telling them there is an invisible man in the sky, and not comprehending having prayer meetings at sports games. And not comprehending having prayer meetings at sports games and classrooms, no matter how optional, doesn't set things up for biases and exclusion from fellow peers and authority figures. You're a teacher. You're there to teach. You're a coach. You're there to coach, not proselytize your fucking nonsense to kids unless you're open to the idea of accommodating every other faith, from Muslim to the Satanic Temple, you fucking taffer. Is that it? Say more in this article I want to read. Oh, there's more. Okay. Shit. I didn't write it for everything then. Oh my god. What do I mean? Okay, cool. The thing that bothers me most about how people of faith like Kennedy and myself are treated is that we are just cut off, thrown out, removed, as you should be, like a fucking tumor. As if we are these hateful, bigoted religious cultists who just want to push our faith onto others. You do. You do. If it was up to you, that fucking book that you mentioned earlier would just be banned. It wouldn't be allowed to be published. It would be fucking sunk into the ground, despite the reality that you refuse to accept. We have a viewpoint. We have a faith that informs how we live and think. That's unfortunate. A lens through which we process, just as I also have a specific perspective as a black female in America. I do not want to tell others how they should live and think. Well, then don't. What were you doing on fucking Twitter then? What were you telling people about on Twitter? You don't want your kid to learn about queer people existing. Well, fine. Okay, what if people didn't want fucking black people to be known to be existing, huh? I just want to be heard as every America should be. Yeah, you can. You did. You were. And that's why people turned their nose up to you, because that's their right too. Fucking, you can't have your cake and eat it too, bitch. Alright, but these are just my thoughts, though. These are just my thoughts. But these are just my thoughts. But these are just my thoughts. Alright. Export that one. And I'm going to take the time to record the last one. Because I really want to do this one real bad. Alright, I need a second. It's a 5-minute break. My ass is starting to sweat. I need more water.
Okay, last recording. I am pretty proud of myself that I resisted playing Monster Hunter today and did this instead. I am very happy with myself right now. Though I need to work on not wasting energy, resisting the temptations to do recreational things for myself. You know, the whole goal of this is to eventually get full-time and doing stuff like this, one way or another. And I'm not going to do that by taking breaks. I'm going to have to make the sacrifice and just, you know, I'm not going to be playing video games for a while, unfortunately. I'm just doing my best to get over the idea of FOMO and, you know, fear of missing out and being out of touch or whatever. So that's just how it's going to be. Is my monitor... Wait, what's picking me up? I see this fucking... Alright, got that. See the desktop going up. Why is the desktop going up? It's because of the monitoring? Testing. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I hope it wasn't doubling up all this time. Let's see. Got that.
Faith is a belief in something without evidence. If you
No kidding.
some rule or policy you have to follow,
All right, let's try
your
this.
beliefs, and you get no funding. It should be fined out of existence. Try having a business that denies services to.
All right. What if I do it this way? Testing. Oh my god, that sounds so much better. No kidding. Alright, let's try this. Alright, well, I still have to, like, not do this. Alright. Let's turn the monitor off. Yeah, so that way we just not have it show up that way. Okay. I guess I shouldn't monitor myself like that. Oh, that's fine. Best figure it out now than later. Anyways, let's record this last shit. Alright, we're gonna save as... My YouTube career has been... It's 15 years of bashing my head against the wall. Hello, I'm Crafty Andy, and these are my thoughts. My YouTube journey has been banging my head against a brick wall for 15 years. Eye Patch Wolf's recent video on social media influencers really helped me on... Wait. Eye Patch Wolf's recent video on social media influence courses helped me more than any of these sharks ever could with their books, seminars, and... Okay, I didn't want to say courses twice. Eye Patch Wolf's recent video on social media influence courses helped me a lot more than any of these sharks could ever with their seminars, books, and their YouTube channel live streams that repeat the same shit
ad nauseum, with live streams being used to siphon money off from people for surface level channel reviews, or to direct them to some kind of YouTube service that charges them monthly. I've been on YouTube pretty much since the beginning, and let me tell you about this journey of mine. First, it was posting some videos I just happened to download while legally obtaining music and some movies. And then it sort of lingered on for a while. I was really into art, so much so that there were many nights I would sketch away in my car while my friends got blackout drunk in Canada. When we were 19 to 20 years old. We did make a bunch of videos in high school, but my friends lost interest in that for the most part. Just a few pieces made in early college, and that was it. I discovered the Angry Nerd looking up the Wikipedia and Turtles 3 one day. This became a staple of entertainment on a weekly basis, especially the slew of other shows long since forgotten or erased altogether. In 2009, after explaining to one of my friends what furries are and that I'm a fan myself, we went into a convention together. My initial intent was to play it off as some sort of underground filming opportunity, but then I opened up and got over my own personal insecurities and started posting videos around convention highlights, reigniting a creative interest in that field. It was a little before this and after that my friend came up with the idea to start a movie reviewing show called Straight to DVD. Now, I loved this idea, and we kind of felt our way around figuring out the importance of taking notes and writing scripts and shit. However, my friend had his alcoholic inner demons to battle, and I ended up doing all the work myself. He would get way too drunk to even watch a movie all the way through and do a review on it, let alone do a review on it afterwards. So I got frustrated and tried doing it myself. There was this weird negative defeatist attitude he got. I got success with my first review of The Human Centipede. It got me invited to the partner program at YouTube. At this time, your channel needed to be reviewed first before getting paid. In this case, the video blew up enough that it just got their attention, I guess. I think it's unwatchable at this point. In fact, I think that applies to all of my movie reviews. And believe me, I tried to keep up with this shit, but I was too distracted and juggling too many things. Going to college, not figuring out what my pursuit should be, an animator, an advertiser artist, a comic book artist, a cop. Yes, at one point, I prospected into becoming an American bastard. At times, I was working 2 jobs. I was mixing various content within my YouTube channel, posting furry videos, movie reviews, and later commentary. I was dipping my toe in all this different shit, and because of the way my videos were being reviewed, oftentimes they were denied monetization, whether they violated any copyrights or not, to the point I was dipping my toe into all kinds of different shit. No one could nail down what exactly it is I was doing. It also didn't help that videos had to individually be reviewed before they got monetized. And oftentimes, for a lot of people starting off, they were just outright denied. Whether they violated any copyrights or not. They would just say, it seems like you probably don't have the rights to anything in your video. Even if it was just you talking to the camera. Straight up. It got to the point that I was just barred from the partner program. I was denied. In fact, I could never get my original channel monetized yet again. Ever. I was pissed. So I was like, fuck YouTube, I'm going to Blip TV. So I would try to use YouTube to advertise videos being posted to Blip. I would go to midnight movie showings in order to write out a script and try to post a review of that movie as fast as I could the very same night. I attempted to make more content in regards to that by going over movie news, realizing I don't give a shit about movie news, and then I couldn't really keep up with movie reviews while posting furry movies, and the channel wasn't growing and Blip wasn't setting up for browsing as much as it was for embedding. So I would try to promote my blog on forums and in my art pages, only to be accused of spamming, even though it was just the one post about the one thing I fucking made. But sure, it's spamming somehow, dumb fucks. This was at 2011, and I moved out of my parents' house with my first of later 2 current husbands. I had a sales job that was occupying me for 60 to 6. I had a sales job that was occupying me for 40 to 60 hours a week. And so even with the sprinkle of videos I was making, I wasn't getting much attention on Blip, not realizing how much YouTube would change during those next 2 years. I didn't have any time to realize it. There was no free time at all for me. I was often so drained by the sales job, all I wanted to do was vegetate and play video games most of the time. Yes. Yay, shakes. Love you, Fen. All my motivation and energy was dedicated to trying to make a living working for a network marketing company that sold insurance because it was either that or work for minimum wage at a retail store part-time and not afford anything and just decide what bills should be late, probably. No, not even probably. And decide what bills should be late that month. At 2012, I finally caved and started a new YouTube channel. Blip TV was bought out by Disney-owned... Blip TV was bought out by a Disney-owned company, and it was the end for everyone on that site. However, with the new YouTube channel, I did the exact same mistake of putting too much different shit on there, and trying too many things. ADHD, full force. I started a series of open letters, commentary, convention videos, and I intended to get back into reviewing movies again, but that never happened because I was too busy with doing skits and other commentaries and artwork videos. Luckily, YouTube made it easier to have multiple channels, so after much mental resistance and taking advice from other creators, I created 5 multiple channels to try to be more niche focused. Rotten A Creations for blogging, furry vids, and short films. Lemur Talks for social and political issues. Crafty Playzors for video games. A year after that, it was Crafty Arts, and then Furry Days to try and further separate the content into near-tight categories. And then my first of 2 current husbands wanted to join the world of motovlogging, so now there is Flying Brick. So let's break this down one more time. Rotten A Creations, Lemur Talks, Crafty Playzors, Furry Days, Crafty Arts, Flying Brick. So now we're up to 6. You have no fucking idea how much I would rack my brain at times figuring out what video would fit into what channel because of some elements would cross over. Is this more of a fit for the art channel or is it more of a fit for the furry channel? It was fucking crazy. So much work got done and yet so little got done. Oh, it's been 6 months since I posted on Lemur Talks. I better make another video for that channel. Oh, but I have this art piece that needs to get finished. Can't let that linger. How the fuck did I not have a meltdown? I don't know. All I know is I would look at the lack of views and ask, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Why did this video not do good? What do I need to do? I didn't even get into details how my Furry Days channel got terminated and started that and had to start over under a different name. Even when all this shit got scrapped a few Even when all this extra shit got scrapped a few After all this shit got scrapped a few years later in 2019 when YouTube eliminated partnership for channels under 1,000 subs, I decided to keep everything to just the 2 channels, Weirdsaurs and Crafty Arts. There were times I had moments where I'd say to myself not to worry about the numbers, but then get enraged, screaming in my head, what the fuck am I doing wrong? 2020 rolls around and then 2021 and the slow pace of videos getting done is fucking killing me. Take this Nightmare Before Christmas cyberpunk poster crossover piece I made. Take this Nightmare Before Christmas cyberpunk crossover concept. I wanted to have this done in the month of November and have the intended episodes scripted and shot by December when Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Whether it was because of festive events, work, video games, chores, I wasn't done with it until October of next year. And all I can do is look back and add up why this fucking took so long. I can crank out a weekly I can crank out a weekly video in about 6 to 8 hours, it seems, for the Crafty Thoughts thing I got going on here, including this one. There's no fucking way keeping up with that schedule should take that much time from working on bigger projects. So now, for the last few months, I've once again pretty much cut myself off from gaming. I'm going to merely regulate it for a few hours a week, if that. I haven't gamed for the last several months now. A weekly stream on one channel doing commentary and current events, so I abandoned that just now too. And a weekly video showing off progress of art projects and showing my thoughts, experiences, and stories with others. Well, that is pretty consistent so far. It's how I'm getting work done and staying focused on topic and making progress there. I want to do more involved projects and getting out of this follow the trend, cater to the algorithm mindset. It's the key I've needed to unlock the door back into creative freedom. With all this bullshit and little fake and fortune... With all this bullshit and little fortune to show for it, why the hell don't I quit? I never really asked myself that truly. Sure, the idea has popped in my head once or twice over 15 years, but the one thing is, there was a weekend I did and let it all go. I played video games for hours on end, watched some movies, and that was it. Every time I ever overindulged in entertainment, it just leaves a petty feeling inside. It's just, every time I ever overindulged in entertainment, it just leaves a shitty feeling inside. Perhaps if my career was more creatively fulfilling, it could elevate that, but where do I go? If I get a portfolio together and then I get hired on an ad agency to work on advertising ads, I manage the AV equipment at a local government building or college again. I get hired under a comic book publisher and still have to work a job in between, reaching deadlines, making stuff for someone else's stories for 20 years before I get a shot of my own at all. You know what? Fuck it. It's not gonna happen. I've only gotten rejection letters, and perhaps now the idea to do a portfolio and demo reel seems like a good idea. We'll see if that gets any attention. That aside, the overall 15 years, I've made about $700 from Blip, Patreon, and YouTube combined. I barely get any views on working art. I barely get any views, and working on art and videos takes so much time on top of a needed full-time job. Why don't I just fucking quit and waste away with all the little hobby projects to occupy my time off the job instead? Despite it all, despite the lack of audience, the support, the attempts to try again, the years streaming on Twitch to get my way up to affiliate last year and then leaving it all due to still not having an audience or any growth whatsoever, really. The impossibility of doing anything gaming or political related. The art and commentary market super saturated. The time away from family and friends. I can't hang around online chats and keep up with anyone, ever. My lack of exposure to people, I know I definitely picked up from my parents, because outside of occasional conventions and arranged outside of occasional conventions and arranged hangouts, I don't have the time to talk to anyone. My only real pet was our dog back when I lived with my parents. I want ferrets. I want at least 2 so they don't get lonely. I want ferrets. I want at least 2 so I don't have one ferret that just gets lonely and is stuck with a stuffed animal as their lover. I want at least 2 so one doesn't get lonely and is just stuck with some stuffed animal as their love sponge. I remember when it was suggested that I go to a trade school and learn something along the lines of plumbing or electrician. Go through a years of schooling on top of my job and just take that much more time away from the things that give me meaning in life. And I just mentally went numb. I think of all the luck and friends that came into play that brought us to where we are now going to waste. I don't quit because I fucking can't. I don't quit because
I funka can't.
I don't quit because
I fucking can't.
I enjoy doing art. I enjoy writing. I enjoy the process of making videos. If I could quit my fucking job to do it every day, I would. I would die for it like I die for my husbands. Well, I would die for them first, but let's not get all semantic and distracted. I have all these ideas and stories in my brain I want to dig out and bring into the world, not for the hopes of recognition, money, and fame, but so they fucking exist. So they exist in the real world in some tangible way from instead of abstract thought. I remember I went on DeviantArt years ago, and I know it's like I remember I went on DeviantArt some years ago. I know it's like an entry fetish site for teens too dumb to fake their age on the internet, but whatever. I came across a room hangout chat and went in there, and someone is like, "Are you Crafty Andy?" "Yes, I am." "Oh my, you're like a YouTube god." Oh wow, I thought Crafty Andy would be too... Oh wow, Crafty Andy's here? I thought he'd be too cool to show up in a room like this. All over some videos I made. I've had people younger than me come up and say my videos made them when they were a kid. Like, damn. I got invited to parties. This guy who just a year before 2009 wanted to just be a ghost. To never be seen or heard, to never draw any public attention to myself. Was out there, having a second chance to make some true friends. And that I did. Despite the few insecurities I had to stamp out at the time, the fear that this could end up like high school all over again, only instead of being beaten up at school, I'd be fired and blacklisted from participating in anything. I managed to share creatively. I managed to grow and share creativity, occasionally speak my mind and not leave a trail of damaged people, regrettable actions. At least not long-lasting regrettable actions. Of course, here I am, talking like it's over. Bitch, I'm just getting fucking started. These are just my thoughts, though. And Eyepatch Wolf, you deserve a cookie. And a slap on the ass. Here's to you. Eyepatch Wolf, I owe you a cookie and a slap on the ass. Here's to you, buddy. Yeah, I need to do that last part over. I got invited to parties. Me, a guy who just before 2009 wanted to just be a ghost, to never be seen or heard, to never draw any public attention to myself, was out there having a second chance at life to make some true friends, and that I did. Despite the few insecurities I had yet to stamp out at that time, the fear that this could end up like high school all over again, instead of being beaten up though I'd be fired and blacklisted from participating in anything, I managed to stay creative, share my skills, occasionally speak my mind, and not have a trail of damaged people, regrettable actions, either. Well, at least not long-lasting regrettable actions. Of course, here I am talking like it's over and I'm packing up my bags. Bitch, I'm just getting fucking started. These are just my thoughts, though. Alright, quickly, I gotta wrap it up and go. So, good night, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Next, I'll be editing this shit together.